Well, the top side streets are a dangerous place, so you better tune in to a credible face like this one. Yeah, this one. And you know he's not alone when they're coming in hot. We got a Lake Show stand and a guy who really likes baseball. I don't know why he likes baseball.
What up? Good morning. Everyone relax. It's not a rug. Listen, 7 a.m. It never gets easier. Let me just make sure the mic is working. Can y'all hear me? We're good. What's up, everybody? We're back. This Week in Candy. Who's here? Milo goes to college. Jay Peterman, what's up? Borland, what's going on? Juan 0337. We here. Yo, go back to bed, Mike. Go back to bed. Keith, Martin 23 Kings. Josh Smith, Brother Fabs, Fenny, Rug. No. Biggie's bullish investor. Guess he really doesn't like baseball. Listen, I like it enough to get up at least 7:03, maybe not 7 o'clock. Who's been getting the play of the day? We'll get into that. Fenny says Professor Dunbar spilled his coffee a little bit already. But what's going on, guys? I feel like the lighting is terrible. Let me get that shade open. There we go. See the wrinkles, see the bags under the eyes. We're back. It's been a long week for Candy. Lots of exciting updates. The season is rolling. We can talk about that. But how's everybody feeling? Oh, let me do the signature Zakarian coffee sip from a mug that is a local diner in Gardner, Maine. So that's the kind of sponsors we're getting. Who we got? Rock and Roll says, Greg will only perform for at least 25 people. It's in his rider. Yeah, we wait until that number gets up there, baby. We wait. Go Sox, kid. Big win for the Sox last night against the division champion Blue Jays eventually. To the house as Reds fans, so I feel like trash. Oh, man. Let's get into it. So, per usual, we haven't seen each other since the pack drop. The pack drop was last Tuesday, 8 days ago. That was lineup one pack drop, one of four, and at the time, one of two drops for lineup one. As y'all know, lineup one consisted of like Mike Trout, Wander Franco, Bryce Harper. It's funny browsing the marketplace. I feel like those are the only players I know now. It's the only players I know. If they're not in lineup one, I'm like, who are you even in the league? But Jonathan India, shout out the Reds. So there's some good players in there, and we should jump in. So the pack drop happened. We live streamed it. We ripped a bunch of packs, Mike and I. I know a lot of people in the community ripped some fun stuff, but we should talk about what happened since. And I'm trying to think of the best way to do this because I cannot screen share my Discord. So let me try to screenshot. But on the 15th, which was, I believe, Friday, Candy came out with a kind of a reaction post, a community update based on that pack drop. So I'm going to do this very ragtag if I can. Oh, maybe I can show you the whole window. Nope. Anyway, whatever. I'll just read it. So the Candy season started with incredible support across Major League Baseball, from Anthony Rizzo launching homers over the Candy banner at Yankee Stadium to our MLB Big Inning sponsorship to MLB TV and Apple TV ads. We saw both of those. We saw, unfortunately, the Yankees hit a ton of dingers on the Red Sox, but we saw that banner placement in that opening series in right field, which was pretty awesome to see. And then we saw the sponsorship of the MLB TV show too. And we're still seeing it. I was watching the Red Sox game yesterday and saw Candy's logo all over the ads in between. We're extremely excited to have a new wave of fans at Candy purchasing their very first packs from the 2022 MLB Icons Leadoff Series, and ecstatic that returning fans have been able to bolster their Candy collections and find fan favorites, rising stars, and highly touted rookies that weren't present in last year's MLB Icon pack drops, the All-Star ones. Now that the dust is settled following our first leadoff series pack drop, we wanted to take a moment to reflect on the release and what we've heard from our community. So let's stop and talk about what we've heard from the community. I think there was a bit of a surprise, I think, to see kind of the floor, I guess, drop as low as it did, and these packs, which were $50 each, divided by 5, making essentially every moment $10 each, just to see the disparity between the floor of players that we may or may not have ever heard of and the Trouts and the Wander Francos. But then I think as the week went on, even those high, like, the best pull you could possibly get started looking close to not EV. My wife is laughing in the bedroom. I don't know why. I thought she was asleep, probably watching me. So let's look at the marketplace right now and just take a look at like what all that means and where we're sitting right now. Because even compared to Top Shot, we saw a bit of a different, a lower floor. Granted, Top Shot has more specific. So let me pull up this tab. Here we go. Yeah, so here's the floor right now, and obviously, like we always knew, there's 712 players to come in this entire set. This is the first quarter of players. We always knew there'd be players sitting at the bottom. I just don't think people expected this many to be sitting here and for this cheap. So obviously this goes back to needing more collectors. But the one thing that I think the one thing that Candy kind of observed was that the immediate thing to do was to halt some of the supply, because as you remember, yesterday would have been 1 week following the first pack drop. That would have signified a second pack drop with the same amount of moments to come. So what they ultimately decided and what they announced, which I thought was incredible turnaround time. They said, we love seeing fans make polls across Twitter and Discord, blah, blah, blah. But they decided to take a look at their drop structure. So instead of releasing a pack drop yesterday, which would have been an additional 60,000 packs, which is what, 2,400, or I can't do math, 30,000, 300,000 moments. That math is wrong. Instead of releasing these 60,000 packs, they're going to hold back the second half. And then not only that, but adjust the pack structure moving forward for lineup 2, for lineup 3, for lineup 4. And basically cut the supply in half. They're not officially cutting the supply in half. Like, we're not burning those moments or losing those moments, but what they're doing is going to hold it back in the way that we've seen with Top Shot. Hold them back to give away at a later date. That could be season 3, season 4. Let these packs kind of get more valuable. Let the series 1 or lineup 1. Thank you, Bagged Wine. 300,000 moments. Thank you. Let those become more valuable and hold them back for challenges, for giveaways. I mean, I think, and this is me speculating, but I think that makes complete sense, right? Like, but I think what's most important is that they clearly like saw the community kind of raise an eyebrow, probably took notes from what we've seen on some of these other platforms, and reacted quickly. And I thought, and so quickly, like within days. So props to Candy for pulling that off. I think that, pioneers in the space of doing it that quickly. That's not all they announced. Additional notes: there was the remaining lead up series packs will be distributed. We know that later date. They'll consider the best way to reintroduce them in the future. If you remember, they've included 8 Candy World Series tokens within these packs randomly, like the golden ticket from Willy Wonka. So those 8 tokens will be distributed within drops taking place between now and June 21st, including the lineup from this week. Or last week. So in theory, these 8 tokens or 8 golden tickets you could have pulled them in these packs. The players will still be separated by lineups, and they're going to reveal the lineup 2 players this week, supposedly. So probably right after we wrap the show, as it happens. And then they're going to announce more ways to earn early access this week too. They also talked about marketplace enhancements. Let's go back to the marketplace. I think this, I don't think necessarily this is the big reason why the floor is so low, but it is very hard to find the players that you want, let alone like the search function, which some players are in this lineup, some aren't. And right now their search function is tough because you have to nail the player's name. You have to nail the spelling. You have to nail, accents on certain players' names. Without that, it turns up nothing. Filters, they did recently add rarity filters, which is great, but more to come. And I think like team filter. Well, let's actually see what they say. Filtering by team, filtering by year, filtering by set. So the all-stars versus the uncut diamonds, leadoff packs, play of the day. Fixing that search functionality for partial queries. And then my biggest gripe, which they have acknowledged and are changing, is when you do search, it takes you to all listings and not ones that are actually on the marketplace. So it's amazing that they're just announcing this and getting it out there. All sorting and filtering options for the marketplace will be added to my collection as well, which again is amazing. So you can actually see what you have. It's been cool though to kind of dip into some of the tools at our disposal for sorting, Serial Chaser and Serial One, and we can pull those both up to this in the show and do a little bit of deep dive of what they offer. And then they acknowledge, we know this isn't everything our community is asking for, but our team is dedicated to getting those updates completed by the end of May. And then last but not least, challenges, baby. So they didn't obviously confirm anything for challenges, but they did acknowledge, and they said, we know the community wants more challenges. We want them too. We've been exploring the best way to implement these for our fans, and we'll accelerate the process moving forward to offer those sooner with more frequency. Here's my question about challenges. Can you do challenges without all 720 players out there? I don't know if you can. Because you can't really ask the community you can't say like make a showcase or playlist, just comping it to Top Shot. Make a showcase of the top, I don't know, pick 4 people that are going to hit a home run tonight. With only a quarter of the league or even half the league in there, I don't know if that works, but maybe there's a way. Bagwine says also stop defaulting to newest listing after every search. I know searching by lowest ask should be a no-brainer, and it's coming. They've said that it's coming. All right, let's take a look. Brother Fab says Bryce Epic went from 800 down to 300. That's a pretty tremendous drop. But I think it just comes down to the lack of we're all kind of buying and selling from each other, and that is something that I think is finally being felt and realized across the entire sports NFT industry, which is scary for those of us that have been in it for a while. But it may not be as easy to attract new users as we all thought. So I think that's a bigger discussion. I recommend listening to First Mint's podcast, who just talked about just sports NFTs, the future, how they can survive, how they can march forward. The discrepancy between like what the league most likely requires and what working in this space requires. It's really a fascinating listen. So I recommend it. The Zavala Bala said, went to the Sox game last night. We take number 1 in the AL East. Coincidence? You better be going back tonight. You better be going back every night. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a Red Sox fan. I don't know how long this is going to last. So let's embrace it, baby. Mike said, just called the cops. Yeah. Brother. Oh, yeah. We didn't even say happy 420, everybody. Happy 420. Brother Fabs is the manager of a dispensary, so today is wild for them. Yeah. Good luck. So let's talk play of the day. That's one thing that has been rolling. That's a way to stay active in the marketplace every day. Since we've only had one pack drop so far, obviously this is a way that you can just constantly be monitoring. It's a brilliant way for Kenny to keep me engaged, because every day at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, they announce the new play of the day. Yesterday we had Freddie Freeman hitting his first Dodger home run against the Braves. But I want to actually look, because I never truly took a minute to like look at the design here of the play of the day and just how much information is included on this, and if there's any clues here as to what's to come with these. Like, obviously we scream utility, but I think there's some iteration of a challenge or an example here. And CVJ is actually bringing that up right here. We think play of the days could end up having more value than we think. Example, Vlad's first play of the day. I've scooped up quite a few. I guess we'll see. Yeah. I think about this from a couple angles. I think there's always a chance for badges, right? Like I think we're all assuming, and they've obviously talked about badges in the roadmap, but I think we're all assuming that badges will be added to the icons, which is a no-brainer, and following that Top Shot model. But if you think about badges for play of the day, it's possible. I mean, I think we can take cues from what's in here. So there's a play type, description, obviously all that. But for me, the play and team, right? And the whole color scheme is based on the team. So in the future, our challenge is going to be built around play types. Are they going to be built around team sets? Like, do you collect all your team's play of the day for the year? I don't know. And I think what tipped me off the most was, and I'll show you some of the ones that I've scooped. Hunter Greene. Hunter Greene's was when he threw like 39, 100-mile-an-hour plus pitches in a game, which broke a record. They actually added, instead of like pitcher or whatever they might say up here, it actually says record breaker. So I wonder, it just adds a classification that's kind of intriguing to see what could come from the future. Aaron Borland says, I think play type is a clue rather. Rock and Roll is Steady Freddy. We love Freddy. Except that, I don't know, were there any Atlanta fans here? How it has to feel like the Dodgers have done to you what they did to the Sox with Mookie, which obviously is just as much on the Sox as it is on the Dodgers. But I know that pain. Anyway, so in terms of Vlad's first play of the day, I don't know. I truly go back and forth because I was so hyped on this during the playoffs last year, and I bought every single play of the day, and I was like, this is the equivalent of a Top Shot moment. Like, people are going to remember these moments. And something that Mike and I talk about a lot is just like, unless it's your team, and like the Sox last year made it to the ALCS, there were some really awesome moments. Christian Vasquez had a walk-off home run. Kike Hernandez was absolutely on fire. But in the long term, is that going to be memorable? I don't know. And the market's kind of reacted that way too. Let's see what, as we wait for the search function, I have to type in the date that it happened. What is it, like, what was it, 10 October 10th? Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so the Vasquez home run. You see, I just pulled that out of my brain. If we search by sort by active listings and then low to high, lowest ask. Okay, so that's still sitting at 27. These at the time were $25 though. So not a tremendous amount of plus EV, but as we saw, all of these did have a bit of a rise in price when they announced early access. Early access being for people who had 10 plays of the day. But anyway, $27. So, we're not breaking the bank. We're not really, I don't know how memorable that was. Here's Kike active listings. Low to high. Kike is much higher, which is interesting. The mint count might have a big thing to do with it, although Christian wasn't that much lower, or higher rather. But we talk about this a lot because the Freddie Freeman making the last out of the World Series, the mint counts up in the 2000s or maybe even 5000s, and that, I don't remember the date, but that was not nearly as expensive. I think that's like under, or like currently negative EV. See if it was the 29th. No. Was it the 30th? No. Was it Halloween? No. So it was 11/2. Yeah, all right. Look at that. These are $25 each, and now you can scoop one for $7.88. And this is the World Series, the last out of the World Series. So using that as your context, I don't know how memorable a Vlad 3-homer game in April of the 2022 season is going to be in 2 years, 3 years. I mean, he'll have so many amazing moments and he'll have so many plays of the day. That's what scares me a little bit about those. But challenges, badges, I mean, I know we use that, we fall back on that quite a bit, but That's where I think we could see some utility and see some just more use cases for the plays of the day. I personally, and I can show you what I do have. I love them. I love buying them. I love the chase for the low cereal. It's open edition, so if you are there right at 9 a.m. and you or noon and you buy immediately, you're going to get a low cereal. It's impossible to get number one because people are just so fast, but you can get like a 2-digit cereal if you do that. But my thought is that I love buying them so much. I need to start picking and choosing the moments that I think will be memorable. And it's funny because I was so out on Hunter Greene. I was like, nah, I don't need it. And then I saw this little record breaker thing and I was like, oh man, it's the first record breaker play of the day. So I was able to scoop one at that $15 market price. But like, I bought Shohei's 2 home runs on the road, but even now, like at the farther away that gets, the less kind of relevant it feels, right? Like, sure, it was a cool moment, but we're a week and a half into the season. Anyway, 3 homers is rare. I still remember when Brad Miller hit 4 in a game. Oh, I agree. I remember when who was it? Mike Cameron hit 4 for the Mariners. Of course it's rare, but I just think like in the grand scheme, I think it's going to come down to the mint amount. So now what I look for in these is how many have been minted. You can find this on Live Token. Like Shohei, obviously the most popular, 2101. But let's see what the active. Oh, these are the sold listings. So these are still selling for like a bit over. That's just the power of Ohtani, I guess. So yeah, so I don't know. I'm just this is just me speculating. I've been trying to scoop all rookies. So CJ Abrams, first home run of his career. I got a couple of those. I waited in line and tried to snag one with a low cereal. I got 49. And then, Vlad, I went in twice. on Vlad. But again, the big names are pulling bigger mint counts, obviously. So that's where I'm focusing on these young guys. The firsts, the milestone moments. I mean, imagine that as a badge, just like first home run. I bought Soto's 100th career home run. I tried to get a low cereal. Brett Phillips, just because he is Candy's mascot at this point. And it's a fun moment. I bought that too. Look at that DC diving catch. It's mostly been home runs, including from pitcher Ohtani. But wait, that's not all. Oh, also hack here, guys. I know it's annoying scrolling through your collection and going page by page. Here's a hack. If you share collection, grab that link, dump that link into your browser, you get the infinite scroll. All right. There were some other ones that I skipped earlier on in the season. These, so I have been, if you can't tell, I've been scooping at the floor. Hopefully the floor. Here we go. Suzuki's first home run. He is on a tear, so this is looking better and better. I wish I bought more than 2. I bought Pete Alonso's first Grand Slam, which gets its own classification, Grand Slam. And then I went a little ham with the Bobby Witt. Because same thing. I mean, this was opening day. And I very much was like, if this kid is what people say he is, and Candy grows to be what we hope it becomes, then I imagine that this moment will be pretty sought after. And I think like it goes back to what we're all here for, right? We're all here rooting for the platform, banking on the industry to continue to grow. And as it does, I think that's where these do become more relevant. And then also fandom, like that's what it's all about, right? The Vlad 3-homer game. If you're a Blue Jays fan, diehard Blue Jays fan, of course you're going to remember that, and of course you're going to want it. So there will be value in it, absolutely. We the people says Suzuki is legit. Mila says infinite scroll. Where have you been all my life? Yeah, when I found that, I was like, whoa, there we go. I used to have to like remember what number page to type in. Juan says, where do you think the rare floor will settle at? Lots of cards at $9 to $10. I don't think it goes up until they announce challenges. And I think across all the lineups, we'll see the lesser popular players at that $9 to $10 floor for rares. Which is interesting. And I think like it's because there's so many tiers above it, it's you can't really comp it to Top Shot, because a rare on Top Shot for $10 you'd be screaming and rapidly clicking to buy it. But because of the amount of players, I think we'll probably see it sit down there for a while until we either get that new influx of users or some kind of rare challenge. But what I will say is what I've been trying to do, and it's tough and I don't have all the time in the world, looking for players that don't have anything above a rare, and good players that don't have anything above a rare, because that suddenly becomes their most rare moment or rare card that will be badged in theory. The biggest example here is O'Neal Cruz, which I was excited to get. He is a rookie. I don't even think he's playing yet. He doesn't have an epic. He doesn't have a legendary. This is obviously his first moment on the site. And because he doesn't have a legendary or epic, this is suddenly, out of 425, but this is now his most rare first appearance, whatever that badge will be, candy debut, plus rookie badges. This becomes that most rare first one. It doesn't mean he's not going to get more as the season progresses, but if we follow the Top Shot model of badging, then this will be that. And I think the community has kind of noticed that too. Let's see where he's at in the marketplace. And if you remember on this show, Mr. Zakarian pulled one of these, a rare. We were like, who's that? And then I Googled it and I was like, oh shit. Yeah. That's not real. That's the lowest sale. Hurts my soul. Okay, so looks like the core's gone down a little bit. So we have to assume the cores will also get badges. 2640. And again, this is a rookie, so this is like he's had a couple of games I think last season, but he qualifies as a rookie this year if he plays. All right, 12 listings for the rare, low to high, 100. That's what I bought in at, and goes up from there. But anyway, so that's, not at all financial advice. I still need to make one of these. Hold on.
None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do. Something like that, right?
Now I realize why Mike plays those videos. It's just to take a sip of water. Man. Yeah, not financial advice, but obviously that's what I'm trying to look for in the rares. But to your point, the floor for rares, if we knock out the I lost my train of thought. If we sort by rare, so yeah, we have a $7 floor for rares and lots of pitchers as we've seen. Garrett Cooper, here we go. So we get some young guys. So that's just what I'm looking at. Like it's a weird combination. It has to be someone who has potential, or someone from your team, and just I think that's where the steals and the rares are going to come from. All right, let's take a look. The fact that it's Fanatics gives me a more comfortable feeling than other projects, much more powerful and money than Dapper, and I think they're going to do everything they can to make it successful. Who knows? Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, I'm so bullish on Candy, and I still very much am bullish on Candy and Fanatics, and I think they proved why we should have confidence in them just by like cutting back on packs. Can you imagine the floor right now? If packs had come out yesterday, can you imagine the floor on these with the full supply out? That said, that's a good point though, that there is still only half the supply for all of this stuff, but we just don't know how the rest of it's coming. For that reason, we should look at packs too. Let's see. Tom says mint count's too high. I mean, I think like we can argue they're too high right now, but we could also argue that the current iteration of Candy and the current amount of users is too low. Like the platform will not survive unless there's an influx in collector fans, NFT fans, and baseball fans that come to it. So I think when we hit when and if we hit that level of the amount of collectors we want in here, I think these min counts will still feel pretty low. Richard says, I really believe they should cut the mint counts. I mean, yeah, I knowing how many users they had, sure, just to keep the market healthy right now. But none of this works unless we get a whole boatload of new people. Milo says, I have to give Candy props. Adding and removing listings on the marketplace is crazy fast. Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah, it absolutely is. It's been fun. Yeah, Richard says, yeah, but those packs will still come out. Yeah, I think we just got to hope that they do it in a way, in the same way that Top Shot's doing it. Like Top Shot holds back a percentage of packs every time, every pack drop. It's not half, which I don't think no one intended it for it to be half until they made this adjustment. But they hold back 15,000 packs or something, which is no, it's pretty sizable. And then use those for the challenge rewards and use those for everything else. So as long as they don't dump them all at the same time, which will tank the market, I think this is the smart decision, and they can use these to their disposal to reward people for years to come, and they'll just get more valuable for years to come. Let's look at what the first lineup packs are going for secondary on the marketplace. As a reminder, they were $50 each. You could buy up to 10 at a time. I bought 7 or 8, I think. I've since scooped a couple more on the marketplace. I opened like half of them, but I kept some sealed, and I know a lot of people did keep some sealed just by the knowledge they have from other platforms doing this. $61 is an interesting floor. I think that announcement helped. But let's see what's selling most recently. So some people are paying up a little bit for the 4-digit, which, as we know, there's really no reason to except feeling the numbers, feeling the luck. But these are selling. So it's interesting. I'm a big fan of holding a few. And my reasoning is, and I've talked about this before, but like there's a whole lot of one-on-ones that are still yet to be ripped. And I don't think Wander or Trout or Harper have been ripped yet. So that should drive the demand for these packs up, or just keep them consistently sought after. And those one-of-ones could be in the stash that Candy's holding back. They very well could be, but that will keep these, I think, keep people wanting to rip these when they can to try to find that. Good morning, Daniel. Texans 80 MVP says, were you in on tops on wax? Don't want to expect to that. I mean, yeah, I was simply because I in the midst of the Top Shot madness and streaming about it and watching my friends love it because they're NBA fans, I was a baseball fan. So yeah, I went after wax. I went and bought the crypto and converted it and sent it to the wax wallet, and then paid in wax, which then was like triple the cost the next day. It was rough, but I didn't go too crazy. I did the series 1. I just completed the common set, and then I have a few other things, but that's just sitting there. That's sitting there. I think in our dream scenario, as we march forward, we have to hope that there's a place for them in the future, knowing that Topps NFTs is still marches on with their own site, independent from that. They have announced that they will make a bridge at some point, and this is like kind of a realm that makes my brain hurt, but they are going to have some kind of bridge to bring the Topps wax stuff over to at least the Topps NFTs site. Now, if you're like me and you want to speculate real hard, Fanatics bought Topps. So the same company that owns Candy also owns Topps. And we've talked about this before, but like, that's amazing because Fanatics swooped in and got the rights, the MLB rights, meaning that like Topps baseball cards could not be the same. But now that they bought it, that's back on the table. So that allows the cardboard community and the cardboard industry to continue marching forward, which I do think all boats rise will help Candy and will just keep collectors collecting, and the possibility for integration in the future. Get a free candy pack in your Topps Series 1 2023 box. Like that kind of stuff, I think fishing where the fish are will be helpful. but also it allows the Candy side to think about integrating these Tops NFTs back into the mix. So there's still hope. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think at the very least, I'm happy I have like the Series 1. I mean, I never know how much it'll matter. People are always like, it's the first ever set of Tops NFTs. And I'm like, yeah. And I did fall for that and I did buy them, but you need a relevant platform for that to really matter. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think the potential's there. I like to think that Candy can continue to pump out these beautiful, like graphics heavy video moments and carry that on as like their own series independently. But then they could have that nostalgic baseball card angle. Whether that exists all within Candy someday or whether it stays Candy for this premium product and Tops NFTs for the more baseball card driven stuff, who knows? But I have both. It is fun. The Tops NFT site is actually that I also spent money there, and their marketplace is actually phenomenal if you've been there recently. But that is why I have stuck to my guns and not opened some of my packs, because every time I buy packs on that site, I wait a month and suddenly they're like through the roof on the secondary market. So most of the time I accidentally buy packs too. I bought like 12 Bundesliga packs because I clicked 3 times instead of once. But so that was like the model and the learning curve for me to like keep a couple packs unripped, because the allure of the unopened pack drives that up a lot, and you can get a significant amount of your money back. So we'll see what happens here. Brother Fab says, am I tripping, or was there a feature on Candy for virtual tickets to games you go to? That might have been the yes. That was something they announced. That was I think they used the Phillies as an example, but MLB announced that there would be like your virtual ticket stubs, which I think I'm excited about, because that is just, not only am I used to like having a sheet of printer paper that I print out my ticket on, and then I like try to give it some kind of, emotional value, but it's a piece of paper. That will allow us to have a virtual kind of wallet or will go into your virtual wallet, or could go into whatever the future iteration of your Candy app is, to show off the games you've been at. And then that to me is just as big a flex as owning Vlad's 3-homer game. Imagine if you have the ticket stub and there's a highlight on the ticket or something like that. I see a big future there, not only just for sports, not only for baseball, but for concerts and festivals, Coachellas, Comic-Cons, like the NFT tokenized version of your ticket that you can flex along with every other event, IRL event you've been to in the same space. That's where that makes sense to me. Chop says, I bought a few rares, Will Smith and Urias. I got the Freeman play of the day because I'm a Dodger fan. Not sure about minting play of the day moving forward. I think people will get impatient and sell them off. Yeah, I think we talked about this earlier. I like buying the play of just buy the ones that you love, would be my not financial advice. Buy the ones that are meaningful to you. It's too dangerous to be scooping right now and trying to make a profit. Especially because it's open edition. So like anyone you're really just going to be buying and banking on new users to come in to say like, oh, I'm a huge, Freeman fan. Let me buy his first home run, which will happen. But I think you just got to buy the ones that you love, like you did with the Dodger fan or the Freeman one. Borland says, I already use the MLB ballpark app. I have a record of at least the last 10 years of games or so I've gone to. I haven't used that. Is that is that similar, that it shows like a wallet and like a checklist of games? And Brother Fab says, yeah, that really excites me. Yeah. We the People says, I don't know if you've been in the hero streets, but getting a physical in NFT and the NFT is the next level. That's like the DC one, right? I haven't actually been on it. I meant to check it out, but I haven't been on it. Murakami says, too bad I'm an A's fan. Virtual Coliseum tickets are a burn. Imagine if you could burn your old, who knows? I think too, like going back to that mint number conversation, and we can look at the marketplace at just some of the mints again. Seeing how quickly and Candy has reacted to just there being too many moments or people or the floor, the marketplace, or whatever was the reason that pushed them over the edge. You have to assume that some kind of burning or locker room situation is in the cards. No pun intended for these guys. In which case these min counts, oh, I don't want my uncommon Garrett Crochet that can get out of here. Suddenly this 850 is dwindling down to, half that allotment. So I think the potential here is exciting. But look at these rares too. These are the all-star rares. That would be a month ago. That would have been like shocking to see. But I mean, and I was talking in, I think someone tweeted at me too, just about the all-stars and the fact that Otani's and Vlad's will get their own moment in upcoming lineups. Is that going to hurt their all-star moment? And I don't know. Like, I like to think, oh, this is using Joey Wendell as an example, not the best example, but I like to think that's his first moment. That'll be badged. That'll be like the true first icon moment. But it's bound to affect it a little bit when you can go on and be like, oh, I want Otani, but I don't want to spend up. So it'll be interesting to see. Looks like it's 737, and that's gone down significantly too. $700 is the floor for Otani. Orland says you can check into each game. You can also view an archive of the results of all the games you've gone to, see the ballparks you've checked into, and a few other things. I've got 44 game check-ins dating back to 2011. Wow. I got to tell my brother about this. He's doing the whole like cross-country stadium thing. Okay. What else, guys? 28 and 8-16 record for the Twins in those games. Get after it. Get back to the stadium. Anyway, it'll be interesting. Yeah, so we should get an announcement of players in lineup 2 in the next couple days, I would imagine. We can also talk about Jackie Robinson. I did not go for that. The busts. Personal preference. The busts don't truly interest me, but that was a really cool and really good looking drop, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the marketplace. Hold on. Oh, I need a producer to share screen every time I close it. Yeah, so a couple options were I think was limited to 100, right? This bust. Look at the quality of this thing. That's super cool. Oh, they even zoom in for you. Super cool. Super cool. So this was 1 of 100 and first come first serve, I believe, on Jackie Robinson Day. Looks so slick. So slick. And will not be buying it for that amount of money though. So 100 of those, the signed ball, we can look at that close up. I mean, this has to be so this one was open edition, yeah. So anyone who wanted these could grab it. I think it was I can't quite remember. And that one I'm having a little FOMO about. Maybe I should have got that, but let's go for it. Portland says the autoplay music needs to be fixed up. Oh, is that playing music? I muted. Sorry, I muted the site a while ago. Oh, wow. I just unmuted it and heard how much that was screaming. I apologize. I muted that a long time ago. Whoops. Okay. So yes, that does need to change. This happened during all the pack rips too. Like I muted the tab, I guess, last year because of the music popping up, probably in meetings when it shouldn't have. But you can hear it on the stream. So sorry about that. And then there was an auction too. And I think the guys over at Talkin' Candy actually were live streaming when the guy who scooped the 1 of 1 bust found out he had won it. I think it was 50,000. He paid $50,000, but good content. I think that full video came out, so I'm gonna check it out. We should check it out. I'll retweet it when it comes out. And speaking of which, speaking of sites that don't play auto music, if you want to follow along, join me on my Twitter, This Week in Candy. It's fun to send the official Candy account my submissions for play of the day, but it's just This Week in Candy on Twitter right here. So go hit us up. All that good stuff, all the updates, and otherwise, anything else you guys want to talk about? Thanks for coming in a Mike Zakarian-less Wednesday and 420. I don't think we're gonna have a show tonight. We are kind of on the injured list, if you will, for the week, but we'll be back. Mike will probably be back later this week, and then we'll of course be back next week. I'm going to keep streaming about Candy. I'm just going to keep tweeting about it. Play of the day. This is coming out at 9. I wonder what it's going to be. Any contenders? For me, I hope it's Albert Pujols running from first base, scoring from first base. That the freight train that is Albert Pujols, the speed demon that is Albert Pujols. That'll be fun. But there's a lot of good other plays yesterday too. Obviously. Who was it? Someone had their first career home run. Oh, Wander Franco hit his first home run of the season. Let's see. I want to see what else is on the table. I feel like it's going to be Wander. Christian Pache had an incredible circus catch. The Wander home run. Lindor had a walk-off. Francisco Lindor had a walk-off single against the Giants. But I think it's going to be Wander. All right, Richard, shouting out all day historical drop incoming. That's my cue to get out of here. All right, thanks, guys. We'll be back next week. Hit me up on Twitter, and I may pop onto a stream later this week too. But it's been great. Until next time, what should I leave you with? Let's do something totally irrelevant.